Okay, so these are the things we need to know today to do the IXL assignment. So we need to know that parallel lines have the same slope. So if you are looking at two lines that have a slope of 2 and another line has a slope of 2, then they are the same slope. Perpendicular lines have slopes that are negative reciprocals of each other. So what you need to do here is change the sign and flip it. Change the sign and flip it. So just remember that. Okay, another thing we need to remember is that when we have the equation of a line, y equals mx plus b, the m represents the slope. Okay, so just remember that number that's attached to the x represents the slope. And then one more thing that we need to know is the slope formula. Okay, so our slope is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, so let's look at some examples. So this is an example from IXL. Line J has a slope of 3/8, and line K has a slope of 8 over 3. Okay, are these lines parallel or perpendicular or neither? So if we look at 3/8 and we take the negative reciprocal of it, so if I change the sign, so this is technically positive, and I'm going to change the sign and I'm going to flip it. Look what it gets me, right? So our answer here would be perpendicular. Okay, so here's another example. So we have two equations of the lines. So the first thing we need to do is we need to identify the slope in this equation and the slope in this equation. So the slope in this equation is 2 over 5. Because remember, it's that number that's attached to the x. Okay? Then the slope in this equation is negative 5 over 2. So now we compare those two slopes. If we look at 2 over 5, if we were to change the sign and flip it, that would give us this. So our answer here would be perpendicular. Okay, so this one says the equation of line D is this, and line E is perpendicular to D. What is the slope of line E? Okay, so the first thing we have to do is identify the slope in this equation, which is negative 9 over 4. Now to find the slope perpendicular to it, we're just going to change the sign and flip it. So this is what we get. We're going to change the negative to a positive, and then we're going to flip it. So for our answer here, we would just put 4/9. Okay, so this is very similar to the problems that we did yesterday. So line S passes through points 5, 1, and 10, 10. Line T passes through points 9, 10, and 4, 1. I'm just going to write that up here. So first thing we have to do is figure out the slope of line S. All right, fraction bar minus minus. So we have 10 minus 1 over 10 minus 5. And that's going to give us 9 over 4. Okay, so that's, oh, I'm sorry, 9 over 5. All right. And now we have to find the slope of line T. So fraction bar minus minus, we're going to do 1 minus 10, and then 4 minus 9. So this is going to be negative 9 over negative 5. And then if we simplify that, those become positive. So look, these are the same. So these two slopes would be parallel.